Welcome, and today I'll be showing you how to disable unnecessary services in Windows 10 to maximize your gaming performance. This guide is very advanced and it's fully customizable and allow you to choose whatever you want to do. This guide should work on most copies of Windows 10, no matter whether you have a low-end laptop or high-end desktop. You will see noticeable changes after completion of this guide. Without any further ado, let's get started. So guys, before we move on to the video, it's highly recommended you to create a restore point so that if you want to revert back to the previous settings, you can do so with the help of the restore point. In order to create a restore point, first go ahead and hit the Windows key and then type in restore. Once you have typed in restore, at the top you must be able to see an option called create a restore point. Click on that and select your C drive and click on configure button. And here you just click on turn on system protection and change the max usage to 2 to 5% on how much current usage you have. For most of the people, I highly recommended you to change this value to 2 and hit the apply button and then close it. And now click on create button and name it as anything. I'm going to name it as backup. You just go ahead and name it as anything and then click on create. Now the system restore point will be started and it will make a backup point for your laptop or computer. Once the restore point was created, click on close and then close from the system properties. Once I had finished creating an restore point, go to the link given in the description box and then download the disable unnecessary services pack by Optimal PC Tuner and then drag it to the desktop. Once you have downloaded the Disable Unnecessary Services pack by Optimal PC Tuner, double click on that pack and then here you will find several folders named Backup Services, Dunkscape Memory Cleaner, Disable Unnecessary Services, Everything Tech Program, Extra Windows 10 Optimization, Full Windows 10 Temp and Junk Cleaner, MemRedact version 3.3.5, Power Plan, and finally a Readme file which I highly recommend you to read before you get starting with the guide. Let's have a look at the Readme file. Warning, this is as is. If you experience any issues with this pack or the freeware, please contact the creator at Mr. Mortal #3121 on Discord or leave a comment on this particular guide. This pack freeware and the creator is not responsible for any damages caused by these resources. Once you had read the Readme file, go ahead and double click on the backup services folder and again double click on the backup services.vbs. Now what this VBS file actually do is, it will automatically back up all the services that are currently running in your laptop or computer. If you want to revert back to the previous services, then double click on the registry file that was made in your desktop and then click on S. Now all the services would be back up after you restarted your laptop or computer. Once you had done backupping your services, go back and then double click on the Disable Unnecessary Services and then click on the Disable Unnecessary Services.cmd and then right click on that and then click on Run as Administrator. Once you had run the CMD file as an administrator, it does show batch script created by Optimal PC Tuner and it does show you a warning message. This may disable services required for certain programs to start, example Microsoft Store. If you wish to continue, just go ahead and type in S. Once you type in S, here you will find several disabler options, whether you want standard disabler or the advanced disabler. For most of the users and the low-end PC users, I highly recommended you to use this advanced service disabler as it is going to disable all kind of unnecessary services which are actually occupying your CPU and making your laptop or computer much more worse. So right now I'm going to use the advanced service disabler, but your mileage may vary. Once I had chosen your disabler options, just go ahead and hit the enter button. Now the services are going to be disabled within 10 seconds and it does says you thank you for using my optimization mate and it does exist. If you want to revert back to the previous services, just go ahead and type in revert and hit the enter button. Now all the services are going to be reverted in your laptop or computer. Once you have done the disable unnecessary services tab, right click on the SvcHost split threshold.cmd and then run it as an administrator. Now what this cmd file actually do is, this will allow you to combine the SvcHost.exe service to reduce the background processes. In order to combine the SvcHost.exe service, you need to enter your RAM size in MB. If you don't know your RAM size in MB, do not panic, just go ahead and type in assist, then you will get your RAM size in MB. Once you haven't typed in assist, you will get your RAM size in MB. Just have a look at your RAM size in MB, then type in S and enter your RAM size in MB. In my case, I have 8GB of RAM, so 8GB of RAM in MB is equal to 8192 in MB. So I'm going to hit the enter button. Now it does say value is setted and it going to exit within the 3 seconds. Once you haven't done this step also, now double click on the advanced service disablers and double click on the Windows privacy policy dashboard and then right click on the wpd.exe and then run it as an administrator. Once you had opened the wpd.exe, go to the privacy tab and disable everything in the local group policy and the services tab and the task scheduler. Once you had disabled them, then click on the show advanced settings, then disable everything shown in the local group policy and then scroll down and then again disable the services tab and scroll down and disable these miscellaneous options only. Once I had disabled everything, then exit from this wpd.exe program. Once I had exited from the wpd.exe program, go back and double click on the Windows 10 Service Disabler. And here you will find a Revert Services Pack, Windows 10 Service Disabler.cmd, and finally serviceinfo.txt, which I highly recommended use this particular text file while using this particular cmd file. So guys, now right click on the Windows 10 Service Disabler.cmd, then run it as an administrator. This script is reversible and will allow you to choose the services you want to disable. Would you like to continue? I'm going to type in S. Disable AppV or virtual application. If you don't know what these services actually do, then double click on the serviceinfo.txt. Now you will get every service information in this particular text file. You just have a look at this particular text file and now go ahead and disable the services. Disable AppV or virtual application. This service is going to disable virtual application support. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in S. Disable Autoplay Event Service. Autoplay is a new feature introduced in Windows XP that detects content such as printers, music, or video files on removable media and removable devices. If you wish to disable this particular service, just go ahead and type in S. Disable Auto Time Zone Service. Auto Time Zone Service. This service sets time zone for specific area automatically. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in S. Disable Bluetooth Service. This service is going to disable Bluetooth completely and it's not going to function anymore if you disable it. If you wish to disable, just go ahead and type in S. Disable GPS Service. This service is going to disable GPS. Most computers or laptops even don't have GPS, so disabling is going to be a very good option for you. I'm going to type in S to disable this particular GPS service. Disable Maps Broker. This service basically installs maps on your computer or laptop. Disabling is very good. Disable Microsoft Store dependencies. This service is required to run Microsoft Store. If you use Microsoft Store, then do not disable this service as it does break down Microsoft Store. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in S. Disable phone and contact searching services. This service allows you to look your contacts and allow people to call. If you have 4G capable laptop, then do not disable this service as it does break down the service and the contact and the phone calling feature will no longer work. Disable print services. If you use a printer, then do not disable this service as it does break down the printing service. Disable quality Windows audio video experience service. In my personal testing, I really didn't find much difference. But if you notice any issues, then go to the Revert folder and revert the service. Disable remote access service. This service allows you to remotely connect your laptop and computer. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in yes. Disable sensor devices. Do not disable this service on 360 laptop or any device that have accelerometers or gyrometers. I don't have any of these sensors, so I'm going to disable this feature. Disable smart card services. Smart card is basically like a chip reader that reads a credit cards, things like that stuff. If you use them, do not disable this service as it does break down. Disable theme management service. This service basically allows you to control the theme, which would be your cursor, the arrow theme, which is the box around the program typically, and sometimes colors also. If you wish to disable, just go ahead and type in yes, if not then type in no. Disable UPnP device host. If this service is stopped, any hosted UPnP devices will stop functioning and no additional hosted devices can be added. If this service is disabled, any services that explicitly depend on it will fail to start. I highly recommend you guys not to disable this particular service. So just go ahead and type in no. Disable virtual machine services. The virtual machine services is basically just a service that allows you to launch virtual machine inside of your Windows 10. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in yes. If not, then go ahead and type in no. Disable Windows Camera Frame Client Service. This service will disable Camera Frame Client service, so your webcam will no longer work if you disable this service. If you wish to disable your camera, then go ahead and type in yes. If not, then go ahead and type in no. Disable Windows 10 Font Cache Service. This font cache service is basically a pool of cache that saves all recently showed text. Disable Windows Image Scanning Service. This service is going to disable Windows image scanning. Disabling is very good cause most people won't actually use these services. If you use them, then do not disable this particular service. Disable Windows Insider Service. This allows you to get preview updates in Windows 10, which I don't even update them at all. If you do update them, then do not disable this service. Disable Windows Search Indexing. Windows Search Indexes looks for the content in locations that you want. This enables Windows Search to quickly find the items you are likely to look for, such as messages, people, documents, and media files. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in yes. If not, type in no. For most of the users, I highly recommend you guys to do this particular step. Disable Diagnostics and Telemetry Services. The diagnostics and telemetry services control the telemetry, which is how it gains user data and sometimes program data, and the diagnostics, which allow you to gain program cache data. I highly recommend you guys to disable for smoother experience. Just go ahead and type in yes. Disable SvcHost. This has something to do with the settings and how it syncs them. So if you use Microsoft account, then do not disable this service for convenience. Disable Task Scheduler Service. The Task Scheduler service holds most of these startup tasks. This actually breaks Windows Search, but you can enable Windows Search in the Windows folder. But I highly recommend you guys to disable this particular service because it's going to drastically reduce the CPU usage and make your laptop or computer much more optimized. So just go ahead and type in S. Once I had disabled the task scheduler service, go to the Windows 10 service disabler folder and then double click on the Revert services and then double click on the Windows Edge enabler. Now copy this cftmon.exe, then hit the Windows plus R button and then type shell startup. Now what you need to do is right click on your mouse and then click on paste. Now this particular cftmon.exe service is going to start on startup. So now your Windows search bar will work. Disable Windows Defender services. I highly recommend you guys to disable this Windows Defender because after disabling this particular service, your CPU usage is going to be drastically lowered up. So I highly recommend you guys to do it. Just go ahead and type in S and hit the enter button. Now it says all chosen services are now disabled and now it's going to exit within 3 seconds. Once I had disabled all of the services, then exit from the service disabler. Now go to the folder and now go back and now double click on the Windows 10 driver disabler and then right click on the Windows driver disabler.cmd and then run it as an administrator. This script is reversible and will allow you to choose drivers you want to disable. Would you like to continue? I'm going to say in yes. Disable application compatibility cache. This driver is basically a application compatibility cache. If you disable the driver and the settings will no longer work. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in yes. If not, go ahead and type in no. Disable beep driver. This driver just basically make a beep sound. As I say, it is the most useless driver ever. So disabling this driver is really good. Disable CD-ROM drivers. Disabling this driver causes CD-ROM driver and a program called Refis will no longer work. If you're planning to reinstall Windows freshly, then do not disable this service as it does break down. Disable Composite Bus Illuminator driver. I highly recommend you guys not to disable this particular driver because it actually causes you issues. So just go ahead and type in no. Disable GPU energy driver. This is the reason why your computer or laptop doesn't give you good gaming performance and low latency. Because this driver actually always tries to save GPU energy and it causes GPU throttling. So disabling this driver is going to really make huge changes. I highly recommend you guys do this step by typing S. Disable Intel/AMD PPM. Disabling this driver will disable seed states and turbo boost. I highly not recommend you guys to do this step because you're going to face a lot of performance issues. So just go ahead and type in no and hit the enter button. Disable Microsoft Standard NVMe Express driver. If you have NVMe M/2 drive, then do not disable this driver. Disable Microsoft Virtual Drive Eliminator driver. The Microsoft Virtual Drive Eliminator service is a kernel mode driver. If the Microsoft Virtual Drive Eliminator is disabled or fails to load or initialize, the error is logged and the computer attempts to restart using the lost good configuration. I highly recommend you guys not to do this step. Disable Performance Counter driver. This driver basically breaks the Task Manager service and you can no longer view your CPU stats and speeds. If you wish to disable, then go ahead and type in yes. If not, then type in no. Disable Quality Windows Audio Video Experience. This is something related to web. I highly recommend you guys not to do this step. Disable Remote Access related drivers. This driver will basically disable VPN and remote access from Windows 10. If you use VPN, then do not disable this service. Disable Serial Mouse and Keyboard driver. If you have a laptop, then please do not disable this particular driver cause it does break down your laptop mouse and keypad. Disable Servo drivers. This driver is going to fully disable printer support. If you use printer, then do not disable this service. Disable Software Bus driver. This driver is going to disable webcam support completely, so you cannot access camera anymore in your laptop or computer. So please do not disable this service if you use camera. Disable Trusted Platform Module Driver. This is a Windows 10 service that pops out a warning message when you install a malicious or unknown program on your laptop or computer. Disabling this driver makes your laptop or computer less secure, but your latency is going to reduce a lot. So just go ahead and type in S. Disable Bus Eliminator Driver. I highly recommend you guys not to disable this service. It sometimes causes you issues, so just go ahead and type in no. Disable Virtual Wi-Fi Filter Wireless Bus. I highly recommend you guys to type in no. Disable Windows Defender and Firewall Drivers. I highly recommend you guys to disable Windows Defender completely, as it is the most useless feature in Windows 10 in my opinion. So just go ahead and type in S. Disable Windows Network Data Usage Monitoring Driver. This driver basically monitor your network data usage. So disabling this feature is really good in your laptop or computer. So just type in yes. Disable Windows Overlay File System Drive. This particular driver is very advanced and it's fully risky. If you wish to have no risk at all, then please skip this particular step. If you wish to continue, then type in yes, if not type in no. But I highly recommend you guys not to do this step, so just type in no and hit the enter button. And it's all chosen drivers are now fully disabled and it's just going to exit within 3 seconds. Once you had successfully disabled drivers also, close that and go to the folder. And now if you unfortunately disabled any drivers, do not panic. Just double click on the Revert files and double click on the default drivers and just copy this code and then paste it in the CMD or command prompt. Now the particular service will be reverted after you restarted your laptop or computer. Once you had finished all of these steps, go to the Windows 10 drivers disabler, come back and now double click on the extra Windows 10 disabler. Now click on the disable Windows tracing and spyware, then run it as an administrator. This particular CMD file is going to disable a lot of things that need to be disabled in your laptop or computer. Once it finishes, it says press any key to continue. You just click on enter to complete this particular step. Once you had done that step also, now click on the extra Windows 10 disabler.bat, then run it as an administrator. Now disable all of the services shown here. Once I had done all of these steps, then click on the enter button. Once I had done that step also, now right click on the lighten up Windows 10.ps1, then click on run with PowerShell. Now what this command actually do is, this will fully optimize your laptop or computer for higher performance and lower latency. Once I had done all of these steps, go back and double click on the ET program and again double click on the ET optimization program.exe. This particular program was made by Everything Tech, so all credits go to him. You just click on OK button, click on the manual section, click on this process mitigation section and select all process mitigation disable. This will significantly lower your latency but also reduces your security. But I highly recommend you guys to do this particular step for lower end PC and mid end PC, cause it will significantly boost your performance and low latency. Once you've done this step, click on apply changes, click on yes, click on OK and now exit from the program. Once you had done this step also, go back and now double click on the extra Windows 10 optimization folder, double click on the BCDedit Resetter and Optimizer folder, then right click on the BCDedit Resetter.cmd and then run it as an administrator. Would you like to reset all other boot configuration? If you'd like to reset, type in yes, if not, type in no. For most of the usage, I highly recommend you guys to proceed this step as it does significantly lower your latency. Just go ahead, type in yes and hit the enter button. Now it does say boot configuration is now fully resetted and it does exist within 3 seconds. Now right click on the BCDedit Optimizer.cmd and then run it as an administrator. This will actually optimize the boot configuration in your laptop or computer. Once you had done this step also, hit the enter button. Once you had done this step also, go back and now double click on the disable memory compression and now double click on the disable memory compression.txt. Memory compression is a memory management technique that utilizes data compression to reduce the size or number of paging requests to and from the hard disk and SSD. Disabling it may change I/O performance and reduce load times, but I personally haven't noticed a huge change. I do recommend keeping it only for hard disk or slower PC. If you wish to disable memory compression, then copy this particular code, then go ahead and hit the Windows key and then type PowerShell. Now run this PowerShell as an administrator and then paste this particular command and hit the enter button. Right now I'm not going to do so in my laptop because I had already done this particular step on my computer. Once I had done the memory compression step also, exit from the PowerShell. Once I had exited from the PowerShell, go back and now double click on the hard disk and SSD optimizer and now double click on the hard disk and SSD optimizer.txt. In order to optimize both hard disk and SSD, you just go and hit the Windows key and then type cmd. Now run this cmd as an administrator. If you have a hard disk, then copy this particular code and then paste it here in the command prompt and hit the enter button. Or if you have a SSD, then copy this particular code and then paste it here. What this particular code actually do is, this will significantly improve your read and write speeds of your hard disk and SSD. I highly recommend you guys to do this particular step to improve your laptop and computer performance. Once you haven't done this step also, exit from the command prompt and the text file. Once you had optimized your hard disk and SSD also, now go back and now double click on the registry optimization. This particular files will significantly lower your latency and improve your performance trillion times better than it was before. So first double click on all of these particular files and click on yes and click on OK and do the same things for the remaining files. If you're facing any kind of FPS drops or audio cutouts, then double click on the Revert for priority optimization, then click on the revert.reg and hit the S button. Now all your problems should be fixed with this Revert folder. Now come back, and if you have a AMD and Intel graphic card, then double click on this particular folder and click on this latency reduction.reg and click on S. This will significantly lower your graphic card latency and fully optimize your Windows 10. If you have a Nvidia graphic card, then do the same thing. Double click on the Nvidia latency reduction folder and double click on the latency reduction.reg and click on S. Now it's going to fully optimize your Windows for the lowest possible latency and the higher performance. Once I had done all of the register optimization settings, go back and then double click on the unlocker.exe, then click on OK, then click on next, click on I agree and click on the advanced tab and disable all of these particular options and click on next and disable this check for updates and click on install. Once the program has been installed in your laptop or computer, you just click on finish and then double click on the DLL backup folder. This particular step is very advanced and allow you to fully optimize your laptop and computer for the highest performance and the lowest possible latency ever. In order to complete this particular step, double click on the readme file, then copy this first code, then minimize your notepad, go to your C drive, double click on the Windows folder and then search for another folder called System32, paste this particular code. Then a DLL file something must pop up like this. You just click on the DLL file, right click on that and then click on Unlocker. Now click on this particular option, click on Move and select the folder where you have installed the Disable Unnecessary Services pack by Optimal PC Tuner. Click on that and then click on Extra Windows 10 Optimization and click on the DLL backup folder and then click on OK and then click on OK. Now this particular DLL file should be moved. If it is moved up, then it must say the object was successfully moved. You just click on OK and again do the same thing for the second DLL file. In order to do this, open your notepad and then copy this second code. Click on copy, minimize your notepad, paste this command again and then click on the DLL file, right click on that, click on Unlocker and select the Disable Unnecessary Services pack by Optimal PC Tuner. Double click on the Extra Windows 10 Optimization, click on the DLL backup folder, click on OK and again click on OK. These two particular DLL files are the files that handles meltdown and inspector patches. Disabling these DLL files should really tune up your PC for the best performance and the lowest possible latency. And finally, there is a lost DLL file called quatch.dll. Go to the readme file again, copy that particular code, minimize your notepad, paste it in the system32, then right click on the quatch.dll and then click on Unlocker, then click on this particular option, click on Move and again select the Disable Unnecessary Service by Optimal PC Tuner. Click on the Extra Windows 10 Optimization, click on the DLL backup and click on OK and click on OK. Once you had done moving these particular DLL files, then your copy of Windows 10 should become much more stable and well optimized for latency, infinite times better than it was before. The only disadvantage moving this particular DLL file is sometimes your webcam or other devices may not work properly, but it is 100% fine. Just copy all of these 3 DLL files on my DLL backup folder and then paste it in your system32. Now all your problems must be fixed up. And finally, there are 2 more steps to do in order to fully achieve the best performance and lowest possible latency ever. So now let us move on to the first step. In order to do this, first go ahead and hit the Windows plus R button and then type in msconfig and hit the enter button. Now go to the boot tab and change the timeout settings to 5 seconds and click on no go boot and hit the apply button and click on OK. And finally, there is a last tweak to do which will significantly improve your system responsiveness and the performance. In order to complete that particular tweak, go back and double click on the full Windows 10 temp and junk cleaner and then right click on the temp and junk cleaner.cmd and then run it as an administrator. Now it will ask you guys to select the task you want to perform, whether you want to clear the browser cache files, clear all junk and temp files, or clear the event log files, or clean everything including the application cache. I highly recommend you guys to use the fourth option because it is very advanced and allow you to fully clean your Windows 10. This particular CMD file is going to remove all kind of cache, temporary files, junk files, update files, browser cache, event logs, application cache, game cache and many other. So just go ahead and type in fourth option and hit the enter button. Now all the services are going to be performed and make your laptop or computer to feel much more responsive and well optimized for performance and gaming. Once you had done the Windows cache cleaner, it must say your system is now fully cleaned up, and it does exist. Once you had cleared all of the junk and temp from your laptop and computer, Now just go ahead and right click on the log files cleaner.bat and then run it as an administrator. Now what this particular batch file is going to do is, it is going to fully remove all kind of logs file from your C drive and make your laptop or computer to fully maximize for system responsiveness in the performance. Once I had applied all of that tweak shown in the video, exit from the disable unnecessary services pack, then go ahead and restart your laptop or computer to apply all of the settings what you have done right now. After restarting your laptop or computer, you're going to see a huge dramatical performance change and you're going to experience the lowest possible input delay ever. So that's it for this video guys. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon. Okay guys, with all due respect, love your parents, respect your country and mainly take care of yourself. Bye.